Ali defeated Foley by a knockout in the 7th round. Immediately thereafter, he walked into the teeth of a monumental decision. He was drafted, and then he refused induction on the grounds of his religious convictions on war.
My conscience won't let me go shoot my brother or some darker people or some poor, hungry people in the mud for big, powerful America and shoot them for what? They never called me nigger. They never lynched me. They never put no dogs on me. They never robbed me of my nationality. No dogs on me. They never robbed me of my nationality. No dogs on me. They never robbed me of my nationality. Raped and killed my mother and father. What, I'm going to shoot them for what? How am I going to shoot them? Them little poor little black people, little babies and children and women. How can I shoot them poor people? Just take me to jail.
While fighting imprisonment for his stand, Ali was also stripped of his title, denied a license to fight in the United States, and denied a visa to go overseas to fight. He was in a much tighter financial bind than most were aware of.
I don't want to see the world heavyweight champion driving a Volkswagen, guys in their Cadillacs and making fun of you. So I'm working today, I'm hauling, right? And so one day I had to speak at Canisius. Heard of Canisius? Canisius, Fairleigh Dickinson, C.W. Post. 3 colleges at $1,500 a college. Pretty good money. So I broke my wife's piggy bank. She had about $35 in it. $135. I broke the piggy bank to get gas money to get me to the college. And I got enough gas and food money to get the $4,500, the $1,500 lecture. At $45 would hold me, pay gas bills, light bills, till I get to the next college. This went on until the whole mess was over.
Inevitably, students would challenge Ali on his stand and his convictions. Remarkably, Ali more than held his own against students who had a far better formal education than he.
I'm saying you talking about me about some draft, and all of you white boys are breaking your neck to get to Switzerland and Canada and London. I'm not going to help nobody get something my Negroes don't have. If I'm going to die, I'll die now, right here fighting you. If I'm going to die, you my enemy. My enemy is the white people, not Viet Congs or Chinese or Japanese. You my opposer when I want freedom. You my opposer when I want justice. You my opposer when I want equality. You won't even stand up for me in America for my religious beliefs, and you want me to go somewhere and fight, but you won't even stand up for me here at home.
Malcolm X, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, Malcolm X came back, as you know, from the Mideast and renounced the movement of Elijah Muhammad. Precisely on the grounds that it was not the same kind of Islam faith which he found very attractive.
Well, I would like to say one thing about I don't know too much about what he saw, but he was there in 1959, I think, before, and he saw that there were white Muslims. But Malcolm X got famous mainly being hard on people like you, white people, white devils, you blue-eyed, blonde-headed dog. Oh, he got famous like this. And he had made so many white enemies. Whites cared nothing about Malcolm, nor so-called Negroes when he was down to Elijah Muhammad. But they seemed to love and follow dead leaders, people. But I would like to say this.
The white people didn't kill him.
The
white people didn't kill him.
The
white people didn't kill him.
I would like to say this. He was a man, everything he had came from down to Elijah Muhammad. And when he denounced or was put out for various reasons of the faith, then he had to, from what I understood, this is me talking, I'll be to blame if I say anything wrong, he had to get back with you all. And he, in other words, he seemed to be apologizing for things that he had said because the protection of Allah and the Muslims were not with him. But I would like to say that we are told...
You think that he tried to make himself pleasing to the white community
because
he had antagonized
This is
Elijah
me
Muhammad.
talking. This is not antagonize him, but antagonize you.
No, but you say that...
I would like to say that whites jumped right behind him. They're making a book about him. There's required reading in all colleges now, and they're making a movie about him and projecting him as the leader. And if you read his book and see the movie that's coming out, it'll make you hate Elijah Muhammad and the Muslims. Mainly, this is done to turn the black people against the real leader. And I like to say that this is the way white people rule. This is your history. divide and conquer. See, the first whites, your fathers, when they came over, they co-chiefs that running bulls stole his horses. Then after they got through fighting, and they came in and took over. And whites have always put one against another. And now they have a dead man who was nothing but and he admitted himself, Malcolm, was a tramp, had white women selling the body for him. He was nothing until the Honorable Elijah Muhammad made him great. But people praise me. Oh, you should be the leader. Well, you don't have to follow Elijah. Man, are you a fool? Everything I got come from him. He taught me who I was. He made me proud. He made me fearless. He made me love my own. I've turned down millions and to keep from selling out my people. The beautiful name Muhammad Ali. I now have 56 Muslim invitations by governments. All they ask me about when I go to those countries, how is Elijah Muhammad? White people, twice a day, 65 and 70, their bus stop in front of Elijah Muhammad's house, hoping to get a glimpse of him. And you cannot destroy me like you have other big ministers of his in the past by telling us, oh, you speak good, you should be the leader. See, this is to get me thinking that I'm smart. And as soon as I leave Elijah, you can get me. But as long as I stay with Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'm safe. And if Malcolm X had stayed with the man that made him great, taught him everything he knew, today he'd been big, big, big.
Because Africans, known as Moors, had come there and brought it there.
The Nation of Islam was a religious sect that began in Detroit in the 1930s and reached a membership of nearly 800,000 believers by the 1960s. The day after defeating Sonny Liston, Cassius Clay converted to this new faith and took a name he had a hard time making the white media take seriously.
Cassius Clay was my slave name. I'm no longer a slave. What does it mean? Muhammad means worthy of all praises, and Ali means most high.
Malcolm X, spellbinding orator and intellectual of the black movement, became Ali's advisor.
It was Malcolm X who converted him. It was not Elijah Muhammad. I think, you know, Elijah Muhammad was a charlatan to a certain degree. But Malcolm X was a very bright man, a very charismatic man, a very powerful speaker. I used to sit with Malcolm X in the Teresa Hotel up in Harlem, and he would charm you. I mean, he could charm anyone. And there was a lot of Ali in Malcolm X, or vice versa. So that was a very good...
And others are feeling by his transition, there is none comparable to yours, and I know that. On this day and those to come, as you redefine your waking days with a life without him here presently, very different. Photos, memories, all the things that we have on him that keep him going. He touched you differently, and that has to be honored and recognized, never forsaken. Just know that when you are the descendant of and the presence of someone whose life was filled with principle, that the seed is in you so that you have to cultivate that responsibly as well. This moment is very meaningful for me to have been amongst those chosen and blessed by Muhammad himself and affirmed by his wife Lonnie to take part by sharing a prose and a statement during this homegoing ceremony. While he and I had a treasured relationship, the genesis of this love was through the love for my father. Muhammad Ali was the last of a fraternity of amazing men bequeathed to me directly by my dad. Somewhere between me turning 18, 19, or 20, they all seemed to find me somehow, guided by an oath or a promise to my dad, long after him leaving this earth, to search for me. And they did. Each one remaining in my life until joining the rest of the heaven's beloved summit of fearless humanitarians. This included Muhammad Ali, whom my dad loved as a little brother, 16 years his junior, and his entrusted friend. There was a double take when I came upon him, a once childhood child, and now looking right into his face. And you know how he is. You know, he gives you that little dare, like, is that you? From the very moment we found one another, it was as if no time had passed at all, despite all of the presumptions of division, despite all the efforts at separation, despite all of the organized distancing.